And Blackar writes, "Hey John, greetings from Oshawa, Ontario. I was just wondering, since Marvel skipped ComicCon, do you think we could see a MarvelCon, similar to the Star Wars Expo thing, where it's all MCU and Marvel comic stuff? By bringing in the cast from their Netflix, ABC, and animated shows, as well as stuff from the movies, and giving us a Civil War or Doctor Strange trailer, and maybe even a Miss Marvel casting announcement, it could be easily fantastic."
Christian, what do you think?
I think it's a must. You should, this, especially after going to Star Wars Celebration. Star Wars has, now 7 films, 8 including the Clone Wars animation feature films that they've done, and they can do a full con, and they can do that with, because of the games and the comics and everything they've done, and it was beyond successful. It was not just because I'm a super Star Wars fan, but it was my favorite con that I've ever gone to, because when you go to like other separate Comic Cons, you walk down a certain path and that's not for me, and that's not for me, but that's kind of what I want to look at. When I was at Star Wars Celebration, being a Star Wars fan, everywhere I went was something new to look at. Now, being a Marvel fan, with all the stuff, with all the movies that they have, and with the comics and the games, this is a no-brainer, I think. And I think that it would be easier for them to set this up than have to worry about going to Comic-Con every year. They can make their big announcements. And I think one of those things that they did really well was when they did the El Capitan last October in 2014. So not last October, but you know what I mean. And they had, it was all these announcements, and it was powerful. And this is when they brought out the Black Panther, and they told us more about their slate. And I think that worked out so much. It was better than any Comic-Con that I've been. So to see them do something like this, they have the power to do it. They're giant right now. I think it would be very successful.
Well, I think they're going to do it, but I actually don't think it's a good idea.
Really? How come? For the
with
Comic-Con?
a caveat, with a caveat. If they decide to do MarvelCon and do what you're talking about, like Star Wars Celebration, and they still plan on going to Comic-Con as well, then I'm totally fine with it. I think it's a great idea. However, if they pull out of Comic-Con, I think it's a horrible idea, because not every fan has the choice or can afford to go to. You can't go, I got to go to Star Wars Celebration. I'm going to go to Comic-Con in San Diego. I'm going to go to Comic-Con New York. I'm going to go to MarvelCon or whatever else. Some fans have to choose one con a year, if any, or maybe some people save up money for they want to go to something where they can go to like San Diego Comic-Con and go, okay, I want to see everything from Marvel. I want to see everything from DC. I want to see everything from Star Wars. So I don't feel like in theory, it's great if everyone had tons of money and lots of time and they go to anything they want to. But if they pull out of San Diego Comic-Con, and let's say DC pulls out of San Diego, then you start getting less and less. And so now you got to go to this con for that, and not everyone can do it.
There's a lot of cons out there right now in general. And you were talking, of course, about the San Diego Comic-Con, which is the big one. San Diego Comic-Con, I love going, but they need to step it up. They need to either build out that convention center a little bit more, or, I mean, they did that, but they were not hurt last year when they didn't have Marvel. They did a lot of different things. I see your point, though. Like, if they pull out and then DC starts to do it, but DC doesn't have the property and the amount of stuff to do their own DC con yet. They have a lot of comics. They have, and I know they have
TV.
And I know they have the fan bases. As far as movies go, they don't have that yet. They will. But I don't think it would hurt it as much as you think it will, because I also think that there are people that just go to Comic-Con, maybe just see the Marvel stuff, or to see it. Marvel has so much right now. There's so many things that they can do, and announcing the slates, I just think that the energy and the magic that was in Star Wars Celebration, I think Marvel could capture that in their own. I think they're limited at San Diego. I think they do one panel and for the movies, and then it's done, as opposed to maybe spacing things out for an entire weekend.
Clark?
Well, I kind of meet in the middle for both of you. So basically, D23 is Disney's big thing that they do every year.
Every other year.
Every other year, yes.
Right.
Thank you. And I think that Disney I think Disney doesn't need to or want to separate all of their pies. Mm-hmm. I think they like having these announcements that, from different franchises and different universes and different properties that draw attention to D23 every other year. And I think with Star Wars is its own. I think Star Wars is its own animal. I actually don't think that it's comparable to what Marvel is doing or has. I think Star Wars is just its own thing. And I think, of course, Celebration is going to have diehard fans that come every year because Star Wars is their thing. It's not necessarily comic books are their thing, or Marvel is their thing, or if the things that we see at Comic-Con are their thing. It's Star Wars. Not to say there isn't some crossover there, but. So with that being said, I think Disney kind of likes having their own playground. And this is our thing, and we're going to do it here. And honestly, I've been hearing for a while just like rumblings that, yeah, of course Marvel is going to pull out of Comic-Con because they don't get anything from being there, really. I would make that argument for sure. They don't get much from being there. I think that they, they're preaching to the choir, essentially, whereas if they do all this big stuff with Disney or D23, they can draw attention not only with casting news from Marvel, but they can talk about the Jungle Book, but they can talk about Star Wars. So it basically sheds light on all of their other properties. So
yeah, I understand it from Disney's standpoint,
right.
Why they would want to have a MarvelCon or D23 in Star Wars Celebration. I'm talking about for the fans, though. The fans don't have that option. Not all of them have that option of going to all these different cons and being, so they're kind of left out. If let's say I could only go to one con a year, I'd want to go to San Diego Comic-Con and get my Marvel fix, my DC fix, my Star Wars fix, everything, video game, my television, Game of Thrones. I want everything all in one place. Obviously, there's so much to do there, you can't get it all, but I'd like to have that option.
But I think that it speaks, that the MarvelCon would speak to the hardcore Marvel fans, and I agree that Star Wars is its own animal, but I disagree that Marvel doesn't have that kind of rabid fan base, because they do. Marvel, like, you'll get the people that just want to go to a Marvel con. You will get those people, and then people who aren't just Marvel fans that want the whole experience can continue to go to San Diego Comic-Con.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
You're saying then they leave, though.
Yeah, that's what
Right.
I'm saying. I have no problem with them having a Marvel con as long as they don't pull
Right.
out of
Right.
Comic-Con.
well,
Right.
and I think too, though, the exclusivity of it, I think, is something that might be enticing to the bigger brand. Basically saying like, well, we are a special snowflake, and if you want to, be around us, then you have to come to the Disney thing. And that's the thing too, is that once again, I believe that Disney is a brand unlike any other. Disney isn't a brand like Warner Brothers. It's not a brand like Paramount, which, has all these exciting titles to it or properties to it, but Disney is its own thing. And so, so I mean, I'm not necessarily saying that they should or shouldn't, but I could totally understand why Disney says we're going to be doing our own thing over here.
But aren't we all special snowflakes?
We are all precious, wonderful little special snowflakes.
Hey guys, if you like this clip, click here to watch the entire episode. Also, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel because it'll help you stay up to date with all the stuff we've got going on here at Collider.